Hey everybody, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one is in the Feud prep line. I did one of these and a bunch of people liked it. So we're gonna get in here and talk about the line bonuses for the Masters of the Universe, Masters of the Feud. We'll talk about who might be good in each line, who you could potentially bring, the size of the roster maybe you should bring. We'll also talk about perks, how much they cost, maybe which ones I think would be good to get, ones that take advantage of the line bonuses and things like that. Hopefully by the end of this it'll make it a little bit easier to set up your feud roster. So let's kind of get in here. There's a lot to cover, but we'll get started with the top line bonus. I think of all three line bonuses, this one is definitely the worst one with the least amount of guys that are going to benefit. It's Warrior, the new Warrior, and it's Showboats. Most of you probably don't have the Warrior leveled up super high. Maybe some of you do. The 2 starting yellow MP is not a huge boost to him if it was red or black. Red in particular would make his Matt Hardy style moveset turn 1, and the black moveset already starts, so maybe if it was destroy more gems or something like that, it would benefit him. So not super useful for him actually. And the other slot is any Showboat, and +2 yellow does not help a lot of Showboats. It's a short list, so Hall of Fame Sting, who's super rare, has a 7 MP sub and a 10 MP yellow finisher. So the bonus lets him use the sub turn 1 and the finisher turn 2. That creates the columns. So you're potentially able to, on turn 3, blow up the board. And the sub has drained them, so hopefully they don't get a turn to get their moves off. Not the best scenario. Andre with gear and Akam, his sub would be turn 1. I'm not advocating the use of this because Andre is very slow. His sub lasts a bajillion turns though. So if you were going to bring Andre and put him in your top line to annoy people, if they can't finish you turn 1 and they're expecting an easy win, they might use one of their less good guys on him, and potentially you could slow him down a lot. But if you're going to do that when you use him, don't use him offensively to take down a bunch of guys or a high guy that you know you can beat, because it's going to take forever and your line partner is going to be annoyed. Pick on somebody way weaker, throw the sub on, and win with the sub on, right from the beginning. But I'm definitely not advocating using him, but he can have a turn 1 sub. If you are going to use him as your primary, one of your top feuders, go in with a much smaller roster than the 52K you see me having. If you're in like the 30K range of talent, and then yeah, that's probably a good option for you. Probably the best bonus in this one with the yellow is going to be Z-Kane. His stun is going to be turn 1. So you're going to get that out turn 1, and then your yellow finisher is almost full, which destroys yellows, and you can recycle to the stun again. So I would say Z-Kane benefits the most from this line bonus, but it's a very short list. Fiend with gear, his finisher's turn 1, so he would also benefit, but again, super rare. Almost everyone we've talked about is rare. And then Andre is slow. So really, it's not a very good line bonus. It's not exciting. The only reason I'm using it is because it looks like you need a minimum of 5 guys for this feud, and I want an excuse to use my Mankind. So there you have it, in a nutshell. I'm a big believer in not just putting guys in one line to add to it. If I want to use guys, I want to have a line bonus. So if I was to use the bottom row, which I could, and the middle row, I'd be using 7 guys, and my talent would be well over 70k. And at the end, I'll get into why I don't really want to do that when we're talking about the bottom row. So we'll move to the next row, and we'll start on the left side here with the acros. So this bonus is plus 2 starting red MP and 50% all gem damage. So for acros, no one really jumps out that's going to use red MP. Stinger has a 7 MP red move that makes blues, but he can already get that turn 1 with the MP perk. So, and his green set is better. So I don't really see that being a benefit for him. So mostly it's going to be the multi-gem guys, I think, that are going to be good here. You'll get a 50% gem bonus, which is going to affect the multis. So Jimmy, Andrade, Ricochet, Z-Taker, Jeff, and Macho Man, Acro Macho, because he's going to cycle a bunch, and that gem damage will be beneficial. And then X-Pac blowing up a lot of the board, so that gem damage will also help him significantly, since he's based on gem damage. So those are probably the acros you want to look at in that spot. I know a lot of them are rare, but Jeff is available to everyone. So if he's one of your top acros, Jeff could be great in that spot. The gem damage is really going to be a nice boost for the acros. Their gem damage isn't the highest, so look for some multi-gem guys. I mean, potentially Callisto, if he's one of your highest acros, could be good there too. So highest, your best multi-gem guy, or someone that blows up a bunch of the board for that line bonus. For the middle slot, it's any Macho. Obviously, if you have NWO Macho, that's the guy, just because he already is very nasty, and adding 50% more gem damage is going to be great. You can put Acro Macho here too, so he would be great if you have one of those other acrobats to run in the other slot. And the worst option is going to be the Showboat Macho. However, the 2 starting red MP is pretty beneficial for him, as if you run him, and let's jump in here and I'll show you. Now, he's not great, but he's going to be usable. These 2 5 MP moves are red. They'll be turn 1 with perks and no MP trainer. So he's going to be kind of annoying right from the start. You can put Harlem Heat on him and DDP, Showboat, and then turn 1, he's going to destroy 7 random yellow gems, and you're going to choose 7 protect gems. To further add to that, you can put Bailey in the coach slot, and he's going to make 8 protect gems. And I would coach him with X-Pac, although depending on which feud perks you have, you may not need that, because you're going to your matches are going to count for more, I believe. But if not, X-Pac will guarantee a 3-match. You'll be ready to go next turn, and you'll be using those reds every turn. So that's going to get really annoying for people, because you're going to have a bunch of protect gems out. You're not going to take much damage, and you're going to be destroying stuff. He's not top tier, but it's actually a very good line bonus for him. So certainly usable. Set him up right if you're going to use him. Don't just leave him out there for fodder. Put the right trainers on him. No one else is probably going to be using his trainers. Maybe Z-Kane for the destroy, but most likely you're going to have the trainers available. So set him up right. Make him as annoying as possible. Last line bonus. There's not a lot of guys in Powerhouse that this is good for, which is probably surprising, since it's starting red MP, but I mean, most of the powerhouses that I would use in here, I didn't see it being super beneficial to. Z-Rock is really rare, but if you have him, the extra reds will help on you won't need to destroy as many with your break to get that stun cycle going, so it's pretty nice for Z-Rock. Drew's turn 1 red area destroy will be turn 1, I mean. His area choose will be turn 1. Hall of Fame Hall needs a bunch of reds, so that'll be beneficial to him. So far, everyone we've talked about is pretty rare. You'll find that's often common theme with the guys that benefit the most from the line bonuses. They're usually pretty rare. So Kane with gear, which is also very rare, and I happen to have, this is a great bonus for him. Because with 2 starting red MP, his destroy 3 move, and with that and perks, his destroy 3 rows move is turn 1 without an MP trainer, and you're blowing up a bunch of the board and you're getting 50% to all gem damage. So if you happen to have Kane with gear, I think this is a beautiful line bonus for him, and it's going to make him particularly not fun to deal with. So I'm actually going to set him up. This will change to NWO Ted for 2 black MP, and with that it'll make this move turn 1 and this move turn 1. I know a lot of people like to use the blast move set, which I may do as well, instead of the finisher, and then everything, I think I will do that. In fact, all of his moves are going to be turn 1 then. So I'll start by making 7 random blues into reds, and then there's going to be a bunch of reds on the board to destroy. I'm going to make blast gems on the random reds, and then going to blow the board up. And with that 50% gem damage bonus and Slick Rick on him, it's going to be really nasty. Also, I'd run Typhoon there, and then the last slot, I don't think it's really going to matter for coaches. So if you happen to have Kane with gear, this is a phenomenal line bonus for him. He's going to be super dirty. Other than that, maybe you run a guy like Phenom, who's got a MP steal. He's also got a turn 1 red sub to slow people down. So a lot of you, if you have Phenom, he could be good in this slot. And that gem damage will be really nice when his trap gems are blowing up the board and stuff. So Phenom, still kind of rare, but he's a guy a lot more of you might have that would also benefit from this. And then after that, really, to be honest, any powerhouse that's blowing up a lot of the board is going to benefit from the 50% gem damage. So your Goldbergs, Lex Luger, Kevin Nash, big sexy, when he blows up a bunch of the board would be good there. So a lot of those guys with this gem damage bonus, you just want to look for a guy that can blow up a lot of the board. The starting red isn't going to benefit a lot of powerhouses, but the gem damage really will. So pick your powerhouse that can do the most destruction to the board, and that'll benefit you a lot. We'll go in here real quick just to look. So Phenom, we talked about. Shelton could be pretty good for you. Another note actually about Shelton, Big John Studd just had 9k trainer ability drop, and it's pretty great. He, on top of red gems, create moves that generate red gems will create 4 more red gems. Yellow moves start with 1 more MP. So in Shelton's case, that makes him turn 1 with perks on his random make reds move. So a lot of you, that's good news. If Shelton's your best powerhouse, he was free for a lot of you. You can, if you had Big John on him in that case, his diving clothesline is going to be turn 1 in Feud with perks, and then you're going to be able to start recycling like crazy and blowing up a lot of the board. You probably don't have Big John at 9k yet because this just happened, but if you did, Shelton would be really nice in this line bonus too, and everyone has access to Shelton. Otherwise, like I said, any of the blast gem setup guys would do well here. So your Sheiks, Brock is gonna Brock will be a little bit slow, Big Cass a little bit slow, but when they go off, they're gonna blow up a ton of the board. So Warrior would be great here too, because he's gonna blow up a ton of the board, big gem damage. So in this slot, pick a guy that's gonna blow up a ton of the board. If you have Earthquake ready, man, this would be a great line bonus for Earthquake. You probably don't have him ready, but again, another guy that would benefit huge from this line bonus. So for Powerhouse, Roman Reigns blows up a bunch of the board. Those are the kind of guys you want to focus on to take advantage of this line bonus at the Powerhouse slot. I know everyone loves using Z Austin, but I mean, 50% more gem damage, he will do what he does faster, but you're not necessarily maximizing the line bonus. I'm not saying not to use him, but you know, there are guys that benefit from the line bonus more. And I think that pretty much covers this line bonus. I think there's a lot of good options here, and I like this line. So the bottom line, we get into that. There's really 3 big guys that benefit. One guy benefits a lot more than the rest. Well, 2 of them actually, but especially one. This line bonus is 100% a Hogan line bonus. That's why it's here. It makes Hogan ridiculous. If you also add the multiply gem perk to it, Hogan's going to win on turn 1 every single time without even trying. Both blacks become turn 1. You're already adding 2 strength to the multi-gems. If you throw the multi-gem perk on there too, he's making 3 more, and their strength is upped an additional 2. So instead of +2, it's +4. Yeah, it's just crazy. So this line bonus is huge for Hogan. And the other reason I'm not using this bottom row is my Slick Rick is only 4-star bronze. So if you have Slick Rick at 4-star gold, this is the feud line bonus for you. Your Slick is going to really enjoy it. Big reason why, a lot of different ways you can run him, but the sub is going to be ready turn 1 to slow him down. The extra black mean your knife edge chop is already loaded. So after your sub goes off, turn 2, you're doing the Slick Rick blow the board up thing without having to load. So that takes away the one complaint I have about Slick Rick being a little clunky to load. He's going to be a superstar this feud. A lot of people, not nearly as rare as Hogan. So if you have a 4-star gold Slick Rick, you're going to want to fill this bottom row. And he's going to be completely disgusting and a problem. He's going to be great. So use this line bonus. Use Slick Rick. Maybe don't use the middle one and use the top one, depending on your roster. You don't want to go too big, because if you face Hogan, you're going to have to put him out turn 1 or you're dead with every single guy in your roster. So just know that if you go in too big, and anyone with Hogan is probably going to go very big, you're going to go in there, and unless you can stop him turn 1, he will kill you. So just keep that in mind. The other guy that really benefits from this row break is Harper. Obviously, I don't have Harper either. So again, a reason why I'm not using this bottom row. No Hogan. My Slick is only 4-star bronze. And no Harper. So Harper, he's gonna make he makes a bunch of multi-gems already. His finisher blows up some rows, and it's black MP, so you're gonna get to that sooner, and you're gonna get more multi-gems. So no reason not to run this line bonus if you have Harper. He's gonna be great. It's a great line bonus for him. So those are kind of the really, really big guys that benefit from it. Now we'll get into some other ones. Scott Hall has a black MP steal, and he's going to be turn 1 sub with Bray with that line bonus, so that's a great option. NWO Nash he's going to have a turn 1 choose column gems. So the minimum you're going to do is break 3 rows turn 1 with the striker. Hall of Fame Booker T, his choose move would be ready turn 1. So you can put your power gems down, do your choose move, not cause a pin, put your power gems down again, and then they'll tick, of course, when you use the move. And yeah, so he's gonna do a bunch of damage turn 1. Vince, his turn 1 his area move is gonna be turn 1, so you're gonna blow up a bunch of yellows turn 1 and then uses yellows to go off. So it's a really good line bonus for Vince. And then we have the striker multi-gem guys, the Volkov, Anvil, Corbin, that kind of stuff. So that's going to be good for those guys. They're a little bit slower. I don't think there's any way to get them turn 1. However, they're going to be pretty good. Also, a bunch of you have NWO Brett. You probably have him fairly leveled. This is a great line bonus for NWO Brett. He's going to get bigger multi-gems. You're going to have 2 more black MP to get to his finisher that recycles itself too. So potentially, I think his finisher is 11 black. If you're using Bray and you have 2 MP perk, you're going to be 6, 7, 9 MP right out the gate. So you could do that and just go that route, or you could just continue with steel, go for your green match sort of thing. Either way, it's going to make it easier to get to his finisher that recycles itself. So and he's got multi-gems too, so NWO Brett is going to be a good option. If you do his red build, that's ready turn 1 anyway. So yeah, NWO Brett potentially very good. Let's see. I kind of went over a lot of the guys that would benefit big from this line without going slot by slot. So we pretty much covered every striker, I think. The other showboat than Slick Rick that could be good would be Piper. The 2 black MP means you could use Bray and start turn 1 with the choose move instead of the purple loading the choose move. So I mean, Piper, it helps a little bit, just gives you a different way if you have woods tied up on someone else. Not amazing, but you know, it is what it is. Trickster, not super great blind bonus for tricksters other than NWO Hogan or Hollywood Hogan. His pin bar not moving is turn 1 with this, so yeah, he's gonna be ridiculous too. I don't have him, most of you don't have him, but if you have him, Hulkamania is gonna run wild. So no one wants to see that. Macho, NWO Macho, he's got some black moves, so it's not gonna hurt him. If you have NWO Macho, you can use him here. I don't have him, I wish I did. Edge, his subs turn 1 anyway, so he'd be fine there to slow people down. Deadman's sub is turn 1. Also gonna be fine to slow people down if you need a neutralized guy. Razor, his subs turn 1. Regardless, the line bonus isn't helping any of those guys, but they're ready turn 1. Trick Rock is going to benefit from this line. His bleed build, where you run the 2 reds and the black, it's going to naturally fill much faster without getting a match, so you won't have to worry about hunting for a match for that. So it's decent line bonus for Trick Rock, and he's got some super nasty bleeds. Although there are no bleed perks this one, which is kind of a bummer because that would be fun to throw on Trick Rock. Yeah, and then for the powerhouse line, Hogan's the only one that benefits from the line bonus. Of course, your legend powerhouses are your warrior, your Big John Stud, and your Sheik. They're not going to benefit from that line bonus at all, though. So, you know, If you need him to fill it out because you have like Slick Rick or Harper and you're going to take advantage of the line bonus, that's fine. So that kind of covers the line bonus section and who you could potentially use that might benefit from it. We'll get into the perks now. I'm not the biggest fan of buying perks because they're really expensive. However, if you don't get at least the MP up one, it's very hard to be competitive in Feud. So I would say that one's pretty much a must. If you look on the side of my screen, I kind of have them up and I have their costs. So MP perk is 2.4 million to max out. The first level is 120,000 coin is all, but it really doesn't do much for you. Second level is a million and change, and it goes to 1 starting MP. And matching color gems, you get a more, it's like giving you a MP coach of that color. And the final rank is +2. You're getting 2 extra MP on a color match, and moves that generate red gems will create 1 more red gem. So guys we talked about for that like a Goldberg, a Shelton, they're making 1 more red gem, stuff like that. That will also help them. I don't know who else we really talked about. I guess that's kind of it. I don't think there's a lot of red generators going on in this feud or the line bonuses. So, but the MP up is going to help out everyone, and you'll have a lot of guys turn 1. So that's kind of my best perk all the time, must have one. After that, it gets a lot more interesting. It depends how much you want to beat people up, what guys you're using, that kind of stuff. So if you're using Slick Rick, if you have Slick Rick and Harper, if you have Slick Rick in one of the multiply gem acros, then the multiply gem perk is probably going to make a lot of sense. It's super expensive at 2.55 million to max, but you wouldn't necessarily need to max it to still benefit from it. Even at the first rank of 170,000 coin, moves that generate multiply gems are going to create 1 more. You're going to get an additional 1. That's not great for Slick, but level 2 multiply gem strength increase by 1, and your moves that generate multiply gems are going to create 2 more. That's going to be super good on your like your Luke Harpers and that kind of stuff, and then your acros. Oh, and when we talked about the acros, I didn't mention Ray either. He's super rare, but obviously Ray would be great in that acro slot too. So yeah, if you're using 2 or 3 guys, or like if you have Hogan, Slick Rick, and the acros, you definitely probably want to get this perk. Although you might not even need it, but it's going to be ridiculous and crazy. So Slick Rick, if you're using him and you get this perk, you're going to have some pretty big multiply gems, and it'll be fun. It's great on Harper. I wish I had Harper, and this is one of the rare occasions when I wish I had Slick Rick leveled, because he's going to be fun to play because the black will be loaded naturally. So yeah, if you're using a bunch of those guys and you really, really want to make your life easy, then the multiply perk is going to be pretty solid. This one is interesting to me, the Feud gem generation perk. So the nice thing about that is all of your moves are gonna increase the color gem generation by 2, but they're also gonna decrease the color gem generation of your opponent's trainers by 2, and that's at level 2. That's kind of the sweet spot on this perk, in my opinion. It only costs 390,000 coin, so I'm actually going to get that and go to level 2, because that's going to be super annoying for your opponents. And then if your opponent does have it, it'll kind of neutralize it if you have it, so you're not getting your gem generation reduced. So pretty cheap for level 2, and if they have it, it's going to help reduce that. And if they don't have it, it's going to put you ahead of the game, and it's only 390,000. So I think that perk is worth getting, and at that cost, I'm definitely going to get it. The last rank is 1.4 million. Maybe if you're using Z-Kane and you got Warrior way leveled up and you have his Destroy build, maybe you want to do that, but I mean, it's pretty expensive for limited increase, so not really worth it in my opinion. Then we get into the Blast Gem perk, and the only reason I really have this here is how ridiculously cheap it is. So if you're using anyone with a Blast Gem move, like I'm going to be using Kane, it's only 300,000 coin to max it. So for 300,000 coin, Kane dropping a ton of Blast Gems, then makes a lot of sense for me to do it. So I'm going to do it. So my MP up is going to cost 2.4 million. This is going to be 390k, and this is going to be 300k. So really, I'm looking at about 3 million coin to have those 3 perks for the month, and these two, the gem generation and the blast, being extremely cheap and very good value. So I'm going to do those for sure, and go with that. I kind of want to do the multi-gem just for Andrade, but I don't know if it's worth it for me. If I had 2 guys using it, I would probably go to 2 on that for sure. So I'm still debating that one. Normally I don't like spending so much coin on perks, but I got a feeling there's going to be some solo contests that go along with at least one of these feuds. There has been the past few months. So that's kind of my take on perks. There are other perks, so if you're using someone that destroys a bunch of rows or columns, feel free to get that perk for like your 6s, your NWO Nash Hall, you know, those kind of guys. If you're using a bunch of them, go ahead and get it. It'll make them better, if that's what you want to do. And then there's a trap gem one too, so if you're using a guy that makes a ton of traps, like potentially Phenom, that one could go well with Phenom, and the damage boost already, and then he's making a bunch of traps. Or if you're using Gallows somewhere, we didn't talk about him because the line bonus didn't benefit him, but that perk would be particularly nasty on Gallows too. So you might use those perks too. They just didn't seem like really worth highlighting to me based on these line bonuses. That's not saying they're not good, it's just not a good use of your coin to maximize the line bonuses, in my opinion. So with all that being said, I know there's a lot of information. I hope it helps. I'm gonna probably do these feud preps before every feud from here on out. I'm still learning a lot about what information is good, what information you guys want to hear. So if you could comment and let me know what you thought. Was it helpful? What did I talk about too much? What didn't I talk about that you wanted to hear? Join my Discord server. Talk to me about it on there. Hit me up in DMs. It doesn't matter. I really want to get these where they're super helpful and useful. This has been over 30 minutes. I know it's really long, but there's a lot of information here. So let me know what I maybe talked about too much, if it's too long, and all that stuff. Anyway, I hope it helps. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I hope you guys have a great feud and you rock it. So thanks for watching.